Hi, I'm Marky.
And Freddy.
Welcome to another week of deals. Our promise is to help you find the best games at the best possible price.
Nintendo Ds are hard to find, but we already did the search for you and looked into different retailers to bring you the best Ds we can find for this week.
All right, with that being said, let's get started. All right, as we said, Nintendo deals are a little difficult to find, but we actually found quite a gem here. This one is on Amazon, and it's for Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. Normally $59.99 all the way down to $39.99. Xenoblade Chronicles originally came out on the Wii, and there was actually quite a fan movement because it wasn't originally going to be ported over to the West. But fans clamored and got Xenoblade rather, and couple RPGs available on the Wii, and it wound up becoming a smash hit, or first a cult classic, but now a smash hit, leading to two different sequels and so much representation in other Nintendo brands. Xenoblade Chronicles, in my personal opinion, is one of the best RPGs I've ever played. It's got an action RPG style, not really turn-based, but it's got a nice way of mixing that kind of turn-based strategy with action combat, with split decisions that allow you to change the course of the battle. It has massive open worlds. It's got a really in-depth story that's got all kinds of twists and turns that have you rooting for every character, even good or bad. Um, Thankfully, though, while it ran fairly okay on the Wii, there was probably a lot that could have been done, and that's what the Definitive Edition fixes. It allows you to track things like side quests a lot more easily. The visuals have been vastly improved and look fantastic, including the faces for some of the cutscenes. And you get access to a little bit of an extra story at the end of the game that kind of connects more dots and helps fill in the world a little bit more. It's a game that I honestly can't recommend enough, and I recommend everybody play it as soon as you can. And if I'm willing to get it at $60, I would definitely advertise you guys to get it at as low as 40, because this is the lowest that I've seen it. So grab it while you can.
Marky, this is a great game that I always wanted to try, but how long or how much of time commitment does the game require?
Well, a lot of the Japanese RPGs do take a lot of time. It is quite a time sink, but I want to advertise the hooking points in the beginning of the story that I think will convince anybody to stick around with it. The side quests, of course, are completely optional, but the game is very balanced in a way where you don't have to tackle a lot of the side quests in order to keep yourself up to date with a lot of the main story stuff. You're not going to feel too underleveled or anything like that. They're completely optional, but a lot of the world building and a lot of the lore that's really a part of the game and character development plays out in those side quests. And I would personally recommend you do every bit you can. But it's what I like about the game is that it's well balanced and able to kind of cater to your specific play style, whether you want to go straight to the main story or take your time and slow burn it through all the side quests.
Switching gears to a game that doesn't require any commitment, and if you happen to like basketball games, then you got NBA 2K21 for $13.99 at Best Buy, and currently as we're recording, Amazon also has it for $12.99. This is the best and the only basketball simulator in the market now for Nintendo Switch, so if you want to play basketball that looks like real life, then this is your choice. In terms of graphics, the game looks great. Not as good as a PlayStation and Xbox, but if graphics is your main concern, then you shouldn't have bought the Switch in the first place. Anyway, the graphics are overall good. However, if playing career mode, which I will talk about next, then you might notice some stuttering in the scene, especially when there are many characters in the scene. This can be fixed in future patches, but it's still noticeable as for now. The game includes many modes, which I'm not a big fan of because I only care about playing the basketball game, but the career mode is cool because you get to create a player and enjoy his journey from high school, college, all the way to the NBA. Playing in the high school field is a nice touch to have in the game, and you will get a sense of reward as your player progresses and gets better through each stage of his career. There are some online modes that emphasize purchasing some digital currency to upgrade the players that you have, but I personally don't do. Going back to the main game, in comparison to the previous NBA, this year the game feels a little bit more natural than before in terms of player movement. Also, the block mechanics got improved, and you will see it more often if you time your jump right, even with an average player. The game got mixed reviews because the game changed the shooting mechanics. Shooting now require flickering the right analog down, which for a veteran of the game is pretty confusing. You do have the choice to use the button for shooting, where the most important factor will become timing instead of focusing on the accuracy of the direction of the right analog. I have to mention that the game takes a lot of space on the SD card, so be careful. Overall, I would recommend this game for those who don't own any previous NBA version. But if you own one, then skip this game and check what other games we have for this week.
Best Buy is going to keep the sales going, this time for a little more of a hectic and wacky title. This is Katamari Damacy ReRoll. It's a remake of the PS2 game Katamari Damacy. Now, for those who were unfamiliar when it launched back about 2 years ago, the game was exclusive to GameStop for a time, but thankfully the timed exclusiveness has now ended and you can get it, this time obviously at Best Buy. I wanted to say that because I think around the time when it first launched, there was a big problem with scalpers and a lot of people just trying to get physical copies of the game, and it wound up, getting a lot harder to find. So for those of you who wound up, missing out on it due to all that craziness way back when, I want to remind you guys that it's here, it's available, and it's cheaper than ever before. Katamari Damacy is, of course, a wacky little game. The goal of it, because there's a really weird, complicated story that you'll probably not believe me if I told you. But the gist of the game is that you're a little guy with a little ball that anything can stick to it, as long as it's something that's smaller than the ball, and rolling things up in the worlds and all the levels, and you can make the ball as big as you want it. You start at the size of a penny, and you can get as big as a planet in some cases. The whole goal is to make the ball as big as possible within the time limit. That ball can then be turned into a star. It does sound wacky, but it's true. Turn it into a star, in which case you need to try and make a bigger one. There are a lot of mini challenges and side things to do to unlock like special costumes for your little character, but that's ultimately, not required. The main fun of the game is controlling the ball and honestly just seeing what you can roll up, from people to buildings to giant Godzilla monsters to clouds in the sky. It's completely wacky, and it's also perfectly built for bite-sized fun. You get to kind of just do it for a little bit and take a break whenever you need to, so there's no real big commitment. It's definitely worth it for $20, because obviously going up at 40, it probably is a lot to ask for a silly time. But $20, you cannot go wrong, so definitely pick it up if you can.
The next game we have is at Walmart this time, with Sonic Forces. The game now is currently at $16, dropping all the way from $40. If you're tired from Mario and his friend, then you got the option to switch to Sonic. This is a game that was released as part of the 25th anniversary of Sonic Hedgehog franchise. The game switches between 2D and 3D wars, and that's what makes it very unique. It uses the same foundation as Sonic Generation, playing as modern Sonic and classic Sonic, but also allowing you to create your own avatar characters and play in their own levels alongside Sonic, which is pretty cool. The story has a darker tone, but it's still family friendly, of course, setting up high stakes and challenges for Sonic and his friends, with a lot of returning enemies like Chaos and Metal Sonic, as well as a new enemy, Infinite. Maybe the last time I saw Chaos was on Sega Dreamcast, but it's cool to see it again. And like Sonic Generation, the levels go for quality over quality, giving you a lot of different levels, but they are very short. Sometimes it feels like a level is just starting, but before you know it, it's over. Some players will like this bite-sized layout to the game, but if you prefer longer, more elaborate stages, then this might not be the title for you. The frame rate of the game is mostly locked at 30 frames per second with a graphic quality of 720p. The visuals are good overall, especially when you play the classic Sonic. The only downside playing modern Sonic is that he's as a character a little small. The voice acting is great as well as the music, except for a couple songs in the game that seems out of place. The camera sometimes gets a little bit off of place when Sonic does a spin dash, but nothing too disruptive. Because the game is a little short of 4 hours on average, I wouldn't recommend it at price of $40. So $16 is a better and fair price for this game. So it's at Walmart and you can check it out. If you notice, for this video we did not include any deals from Target or GameStop. We did not forget about them, it's just we didn't find any good deals that is worth mentioning. We always try to pick the best games that are really at a good price. Anyway, we hope you enjoyed the video. Before you go, please remember to give us a like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for notification to get the deals as soon as possible. It will also help our channel grow. And of course, let us know in the comment below if you played any of the games we mentioned.
While we have you, Sonic Forces allows you to create a character from any animal, be it cat, dog, bear, hawk. What's your favorite animal, and which animal would you like to turn into a Sonic character? Be sure to let us know.
Thank you, and be sure to check our channel next week for more deals.
See you later.